Hi, welcome to Your Best Life. I'm Jennifer, and today I would like to share with you how I completed the elective residency visa application for Italy. So, through your local consulate for your jurisdiction, you can look online and find out which one that is. There is an application that you can look through the list of required documents and then prepare and then make an appointment online to go to the consulate in person, present your documents, and then they will mail you back the residency visa if you qualify. So, when we applied for the elective residency visa, before we began, we went online we created a username, and it's Prenota. And for your consulate, they will have their own appointment scheduling service. So when you find out what consulate you are using, we used Miami. So the name of the website was Prenota MI. And we went on there and created an appointment for visas. Once we made the appointment, we started to get the documents ready. And some of the appointments, they may have ones that are early, or they might have them a few months in the future. So you should plan ahead. And the consulate also does take 90 days. They say 90 days to process the elective residency visa. Ours was much quicker than that. It only took a few weeks, but you don't know how busy they are. So assume it will take 90 days. But so after you make your appointment, there's a list of documents that they need. And the first one was your passport. The passport needs to be valid for 1 year plus 3 months. So when you make your appointment, whatever the date of your appointment is, the passport must be valid for 1 year plus 3 months past that date. Because in case you need to return to the United States for whatever reason, hopefully Italy doesn't kick you out. So hopefully we don't get kicked out. But if you need to get sent back to the United States for whatever reason, you need to have your valid passport that allows you to enter the United States again. So, and that is where they will put the visa for Italy inside your passport book. So passport, number one. Number two, and this is one that we've actually been helping some people that are trying to relocate and they want residency visas in this area because we've been meeting so many people. So the proof of physical residence in the jurisdiction. Now, you must keep a residence in the United States. You cannot completely move to Italy and not have a residence that you keep in the US. So, for example, if you live in New York right now and you want to use your new residence as your mother in Florida, you cannot go to the consulate in New York for your appointment. You need to establish residency in Florida by documentation and changing over your driver's license and anything else that's associated with residency to Florida before you go to your consulate appointment, because they will want to see a copy of your driver's license. And if you will be living, you will not have your residence in New York any longer, and you will be using Florida as your residence, then that would be the consulate that you go to, but only after you've changed these things over. And this is very important because you need to keep that Florida address as your address for anything that gets sent. If you used your New York address and then you sold your home, then obviously they can't send anything there. So if you're planning on keeping a home and you're planning on keeping it wherever it is, then that's fine. Leave that as your main address. But if you're planning on changing your residence, this is only for people who don't want to keep their current home and want to just use someone else as their residency, they need to do it first. And then you have to have proof of that. So driver's license, and this is only for United States residents. If you're not a resident, a citizen of the United States, this does not apply to you. You have to find out the information that pertains to you. So, okay. So legal residency, physical residency. So that would be the legal permanent residence of a non-resident of the United States. Doesn't apply to us. So now the next thing is photographs. They need to be the Italian passport size, which is 45 millimeters by 35 millimeters, and they are very different from the passport photos that the United States uses. These photos are slimmer and longer, and they're not square. So a United States passport photo is a square. These are rectangles, and your face fills up more of the photo, so it's important that they're that size. And when you get that photo, you will affix it to the top right corner of the elective residency visa application with a little glue stick. We did ours with a glue stick. It can't be paper clipped. It has to be glued. And then the next is the long stay visa application form. So that you can get online from your consulate, fill out the document, and I'll probably have a video on how to fill out that document because it's confusing. There's a lot of fields that you might not know what to put in there, and it's not very clear on what to put in those fields. So I'll have a video on that, on how to fill out that form. But the long stay visa application form filled out, and you need to sign it in, I believe it's three places. But I'll go over that when I do that video for that. If you don't need it, then that's great. Okay. This one's tricky. So the next one is a lease or a rental contract or a deed for a property in Italy. And it must be in your name. So if you want to plan ahead and you want to get a residency visa, but you might not want one right now, but you're thinking about coming over in a year or two, and you're thinking about buying property in Italy. If you already have a property in Italy, this is easy because all you have to do is show proof of your deed. We needed to get a rental here in Italy and get a rental contract that's for at least 12 months. I think it's 12 months. I think it was 12 months and a day, which is silly, but you needed to have the deed registered in your name, and then it has to go get registered and get the stamp from the tabacchi on it that says the contract was actually registered, and there'll be a little stamp in the corner of the deed for the rental contract. And then they want to see that because anyone can have a rental contract drawn up, but it actually has to be registered in Italy. So if you don't register it, it won't be valid. So you can't just have someone say, hey, I'm going to let you stay at my house, and that won't work. You need to have your own accommodations. And if you say, I want to just stay in hotels for a few months, and then I might rent an apartment or I might find some place to live, that won't work. You need to have that signed. Without that, you will get rejected. And for the costs that are involved in getting the residency visa, it's not worth it. So get the lease, get a rental contract, or better yet, if you buy a property, you won't have to worry about it because then all you'll have to do is show that. Okay. Now, a documented and detailed guarantee of substantial and steady private income. This one is extremely important. You need to prove to them that you can support yourself before you enter Italy. and plan on staying for an extended period of time. So the 32,000 euros for single, 39,000 euros for a couple, and I believe it's like 34,000 US and 41,000 US converted. So 41,000 euros generated or dispersed from whatever accounts you have. If you have savings accounts, financial accounts, if you have stocks, bonds, annuities, retirement income, pensions, anything like that that you're collecting, Social Security, anything that you're collecting needs to add up to $41,000 minimum US for the year. They like to see other things, like a combination of things. So if you have some money in savings and then proof of those incomes, 12 months of them. So we had sold our home, but we sold it before 12 months. So we had that money already in our account. So it looked better on our application to have that money there. But if you don't have steady income that's coming in, that's over $41,000 for a couple, 34,000 for a single, you will not be approved. So if you can plan ahead and arrange for that to be in place when your application is submitted, then that's good. But they want to see the past 12 months. So you have to show 12 months of bank statements, 12 months of retirement accounts, 12 months of pensions. They want to see that. And 2 letters of financial two letters from financial institutions or chartered accountants. So we got a bank statement from the bank. They won't write a letter. Our bank wouldn't write a letter, but they said that we've been customers for over a certain period of time. An accountant that's been handling your financials, a financial advisor that's been handling your financials, any kind of a letter of reference from them, you need to have 2. So the financial income, the letters of reference, the last 2 years of tax returns, just the first 2 pages. They don't need to see the entire tax return, but the first 2, the last 2 years, so last year's and then the year prior, and your bank statements. So in addition to having the detailed financial income for the past 12 months, I know it's a lot of paper, and a summary sheet is fine. You don't need to have, ones that we've have had 20 pages or 30 pages for that 1 month. They just want to see the summary page. But bank statements for the past year. So savings, checking, 12 months of that. And a letter from you stating why you want to reside permanently in Italy. So this one was easy for us because we knew that we bicyclists and we wanted to retire in Italy, and that we were applying for citizenship, and that we really wanted this is where we wanted to be, and that we were moving over. And then when our children were done, they wanted to come over to Italy. Because we were getting citizenship, it was a little bit easier for us. But if you say that you want to retire in Italy because, this is someplace that you've been and that you love to be here and this is where you want to live, they're fine with that. You don't have to be a citizen or be pursuing citizenship to have a reason to want to live in Italy. I mean, who wouldn't want to live in Italy, right? So, and who was accompanying you? So in the letter include your spouse or partner. If you have children, young children that will be coming with you, put them in the bottom. And the visa allows you to bring children, your minor children with you if you're supporting them. So just make sure that you're including them in your letter, and make a story. They want to hear why you want to be in Italy, and we did that. We wrote a nice letter and said why we wanted to cycle in Italy and retire and live here and become part of society here. That's important for them here, that you want to become part of their society and not want everyone to cater to you. So learning the language, and if you're already learning, or if you have learned Italian already and you speak Italian, put that in your letter, because that's very important to them. And the last thing is the visa fee. So it changes every few months. It changes. Look at the chart on your visa, the consulate's website, where the visa application fees are. They'll have a chart, and they update it every time for each period. So you should check the one that they publish and the chart and just check the date to make sure that you're having the correct visa fee for when your application is, not from when you made the appointment. So right before you go, make sure you get a money order. And I think that when we did ours the last time, they do not accept Bank of America, so I wouldn't use them. Use a money order from another bank, but not Bank of America. But I would check it before you do, because they may have changed from the time we did ours to now. So, and make a copy of everything you send. So when we prepared ours, we used a 3-ring binder with plastic inserts in it, and we put the every packet of documents in a plastic insert, so that in order, so that when they opened it up and they saw, our passport was in there, a copy of our driver's license, our proof of physical residence in the jurisdiction, so your ID, if you have utility bills, if you have a phone bill, anything like that, we put that in sleeves. And then your photographs will be attached to the front, your long stay visa application form in its own plastic sleeve, the rental contract in its own sleeve, your financial documents, you may need a few of those, so separating them by account or something like that. That's what we did. And the self-addressed envelope. So you need to get at the post office a priority envelope with a pre-addressed envelope back to yourself for them to put the visa in and send back to you. If you do not include that envelope, you will have to mail to them on an envelope that's self-addressed and stamped, but do a prepaid label. So through USPS.com, or there's other sites online that you can actually generate and get a self-addressed envelope for a priority envelope, and just stick the label on that. Make sure you're the return address and yourself is the return address, is the addressee, so that in case it gets lost, it automatically comes back to you and does not go back to the consulate. They do not want you to use them as a return address. So you put the label on it, fold it, and then I put that in the 3-ring binder that we prepared with our packet. So, and that's it. It's really not difficult to do this on your own. It takes a little time, and we were very overwhelmed when we saw the list of things that they wanted, but I said, you know what, let me relax and go through each thing, line by line, and we were approved in 2 weeks. So I guess we did everything right. So if you are worried about it, or you say, you know what, I just want to pay somebody to do this, by the time you find somebody to pay to do all of this for you, you pay an attorney. It doesn't cost anything for you to do it on your own. And it's only the application fee at this time was only about $130. So you don't have to pay somebody thousands of dollars to get this done for you. You can really do this on your own. And it's important for you to be familiar with that paperwork that you're submitting for your elective residency visa, because When you get here, so say you've gotten your elective residency visa and you get to Italy, you need to take paperwork that you've gotten to the comune here and register so that your time can begin, because you need to get it here. It's within a week. I think it's a week or 8 days. Once you're here within that week, you need to go to the comune and register, say, I'm here, I have my residency visa, and these are the documents they're going to ask you for, the financial documents, and you'll have to show that to them, and your rental contract, so that they know where you're living in their jurisdiction here. And then after 45 days, you'll become a resident. So the police may come or they may not come. In our instance, they came, and you need to have all of that paperwork ready so that when the police do come to your door, you know what they want. So they'll want to see your rental contract. They'll want to know that if you're renting, if you're an owner, a property owner, and you have a utility bill, or you have something that's, addressed here to you at the house that you're living in, you'll need to show them that to prove that, yes, I own this home, yes, I live here. And if you don't speak Italian, it's going to be extremely difficult. So have all of that ready from experience. Have all that ready so that you're not surprised when they come. And they'll only be here for a minute. And then once they do that, then you can go get your identity card, the carta di identità, which I will have another video on that because this video is getting a little long. But once you're a resident, you can get the identity card, and I can help you and give you some advice on what to do when it's time to go get that identity card after you've become a resident, and that's after 45 days. So they don't move very quickly with that. They take their time, and the police may not come, which you'll have to wait the entire 45 days anyway. So I wouldn't plan on it happening before then. That was the biggest issue that we had when we came. We didn't rent a car, and we were waiting to buy a car because car rentals were so expensive. I know that there's some places you can get a great deal on a rental car, but we said, you know what, we're going to explore the town, explore the city, explore what's around us. We had bikes, so we can go wherever we wanted. So we weren't trapped. But if you aren't getting bicycles, if you aren't renting a car, you cannot purchase a car here until you are a resident. And that could be over 2 months at least. So have another plan on the side just in case that, if you're not in an area that has a lot of transit, which even in the South we do, there's a lot of transit. Just navigating that is a little tricky in the beginning, but if you don't have transit and you cannot buy a car yet, so you need to be a resident to do that, have something else so that you don't feel like you can't go out and explore, or sign up with some tour groups or tour guides or even bike tours to take you around so that you can see what's around in your area before you're able to buy a car. Because that was the one thing that we waited to do. And should we have rented a car for a little while? Yeah, maybe we should have done a little here and there. But now that we have a car, and we'll have a video on that also, I'll have a video on how to buy a car here in Italy. It's a little tricky, but things that you must do before you buy a car here, and how insurance works and those kinds of things. It's different from the United States. So anyway, enough on that. So if you have any comments or questions about elective residency visas, I'm available for advice. And if you like this video, click on the like and subscribe to my channel. I'm starting to build a lot of videos, so I really could use your support. And I hope you like this video, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.